You're listening to Hotepish with your host, Dwan B. Intelligent ish talk, intelligent shit talk, where we balance the profound with the profane. Political satire, celebrity and expert guests, information and entertainment, conversation and solutions. Leave your feelings at the door.
We are here live. Thank y'all for joining me. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me good? Can y'all hear me? Yeah. What's up, Magic Mushroom? What's up, Michael? What's up, King Moses? King Moss. My bad. I said Moses. Trying to read too goddamn fast. What's up, King Moss? Oh, I'm gonna disrespect some people's mamas today. Guaranteed if they come in this room sideways, I am going to talk about them and they mama for coming up in my chat room saying some disrespectful bullshit. My motto is when they go low, I go lower. Jonathan said you've been smoking them tweeds again. Nah. It's funny, usually I do try to get a good wake and bake in. Before every show. But today I didn't get one in. Today I just came straight up. Like, you know what? I said on Craig Facts a few weeks ago that I'm going to talk about the difference between white liberal racists and conservative racists, and I haven't done that yet. So I figured today would be a good day to cover that topic. Because we as black people are often confused. Yeah, and I want to clear up confusion, especially with a lot of the young folks watching. Because the liberals been having black society by the balls for the last 60 years. Like, for real. Thank you for the Cash App, Biddy Akbar. I appreciate that. But the liberals, man, they've been kicking our asses. Let's just tell the truth. The conservatives ain't really been fucking with us since 1960. They kind of have, like, other than Reagan. Reagan really fucked us up. But outside of Reagan and Nixon, the conservatives really haven't been doing much targeting us. You know, Nixon, you know, he targeted us when he started the war on drugs, but Reagan really pushed it through the roof, you know what I mean? But outside of those two conservatives, you can't really say too many that specifically targeted black people. Bush, to me, was just the worst president in American history, white or black. He just fucked this whole country off. My personal opinion is Bush 2 was just bad for everybody, including us. But he didn't specifically target us. Trump did not specifically target us. Trump was a Twitter president. He wasn't really doing much legislatively. But these conservatives these liberals on the other hand, oh boy. I mean, from the Clintons to the Obamas to now the Bidens, and not to mention all the local leadership that's quote unquote liberal. Your Sheila Jackson Lees, she's there on the bottom left looking like Patrick Ewing. John Lewis. These are all been motherfuckers that been smiling to our face while fucking us over. So we're going to break all that down. What's up, OC Girl 81? 1981 was a great, grand year. Beautiful year. Peace, Sylvester. Oh, somebody got mad. Put the thumbs down and left. Oh, I'm about to talk about the liberals. Ooh, somebody got mad. Somebody got mad that I'm about to talk about these liberals. How they ain't shit. Oh yeah, I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna throw you in here too, Kamala, one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. I'll throw you in here too. Yeah, so yeah. What's up, G-Rock? What's up, Mark by Smiths? Mr. Ernest? What's up, Trev? Alex Brown? Thank y'all all for joining the chat room. Please hit the notification bell for when I get cracking. Like this shit, share this shit, subscribe to this shit. Yeah. Let me see here. Let me change the title. There we go. I want to talk about liberals versus conservatives. What's the difference? Appreciate you, Malik, too. Likewise. Oh yeah, Molly Mill, you want to finish that last video? We went real deep. Yeah. Yes, it's time for church. My bad, Jack Jones. My bad. I did kind of disrespect Patrick Ewing by saying Sheila Jackson Lee looks like him. My bad. You right. Brothers gotta admit when they wrong. I apologize to you, Patrick Ewing. Your jaw not that sharp, and you not that ugly. And you an ugly motherfucker, Patrick Ewing. But Sheila Jackson Lee, oh my god, I can't stand her. Sheila Jackson Lee. Okay, Sheila Jackson Lee looks more like one of the Fraggle Rock characters. Come along and play. Ready for another day. Hear the music play. Down to Fraggle Rock. What's up, Tasha Ray? What's up, Mickey? Yeah. I have no respect for people that sell out black people at all. Larry Elder ain't shit. John Lewis ain't shit. And we're going to talk about these so-called black misleaders that they throw in our face all the goddamn time and how they get down. I appreciate that, Jerry Wright. I appreciate that. All right, let's get into it. I don't have any notes. All this shit's just off the top of my head. This is how I feel, goddammit. And I'll probably pull up some articles later on if I need to. But we about to just talk about what's the difference between conservatives and liberals and black sellouts. The only difference between a conservative, a liberal, and a black sellout is their means of selling out black people and disenfranchising black people. I probably should change the title. I think I will on the thumbnail that I have, because I'm not going to just talk about black sellouts. I'm going to talk about all these non-white sellouts, because it ain't just the black ones. I'll just go non-white, because I don't know if y'all saw. Look at this right here. Let me see here. This dude here, I read this earlier, Jeremy Lin. For those of you who don't watch sports, Jeremy Lin is a basketball player, an Asian basketball player, who, through him being Asian, he's been overhyped and he's stuck around the NBA a lot longer than his skill set should allow. Jeremy Lin came in the NBA guns a-blazing. He set the NBA by storm when he came in as a rookie. Off the top of my head, I can't remember the year, but in my head, I'm thinking 2012, 2013, sometime around back there. He came into the league. He set the league on fire because he was an Asian that was getting triple doubles for the Knicks. He was playing in New York. He was getting big numbers, and for the most part, the basketball world accepted him. I mean, for the most part, the basketball world accepted him. There was no for the most part. The league accepted him. The players accepted him. Now he's going around talking about, now that he's down in the G League and he hasn't hit an NBA roster all season, he's going around saying that being a 9-year NBA veteran doesn't protect me from being called coronavirus on the court. Why am I starting off with Jeremy Lin? I'm starting off him because the NBA is run by the liberals. Like the NFL versus NBA, that's a good example of how liberal racism and conservative racism are run. The NBA is a very liberal racist organization. The NFL is a very conservative racist organization. They're both racist. So now you have Jeremy Lin, a man accepted by black society. Now that it's time for Asian bullshit propaganda to hit, he's going around saying that he's been called the coronavirus on court. First of all, I don't believe that. Second of all, if somebody's calling you coronavirus, it got to be something funnier beyond that. Just calling somebody coronavirus ain't, because niggas is funnier than that. Niggas gonna hit you with something a little harder than just a coronavirus. And third of all, the coronavirus came from China. It came from over there. All the black people that got to deal with West Nile virus and the African killer bees and the Mexican, the South American and Brazilian wasps or whatever. They label these diseases from black nations all the goddamn time. Now that one come from Asia, these motherfuckers is crying like hoes. And you got Jeremy Lin running around saying that he was called coronavirus, but at the same time, he won't name who called him coronavirus. All right, so if you ain't gonna name him, what the fuck you talking for then? Huh? Why are you talking? Made me feel like you're lying. this is a message to all you niggas out there, because it's too many black people out here, especially black men. Especially black men. It starts with us. We're the leaders, right? All right, if we want to be the leaders, we have to be leading in, correct? Niggas always want to be leaders, but don't want to lead. This starts with us. We as black men, the guardians, the gatekeepers of black society, got to stop letting everyone through the fucking door. Just because someone plays basketball good don't mean they black. Or they down with black people. Just because they listen to hip hop don't mean they down with black or black people. Just because the chick you talking to want to give you some a dum 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 dum, it don't mean she down with black or black people. She just likes that black a dum 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 dum, and not you. She likes that black a dum 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 dum, not the children that they'll produce. That's what Megan likes. Niggas need to stop being impressed by white people who halfway, and non-black people who halfway pay attention. Because you have a lot of these niggas running around saying, okay, I can't give it a white girl, but at least I'm going to get myself an Asian. All right. And look at Kamala. Her Jamaican dad went and got an Asian woman. And when was the last time you heard Kamala talk anything about her Jamaican side? Other than smoking weed. The only time she referenced her quote-unquote black side was on the Breakfast Club when she talked about had she smoked weed before. But when it comes to her mama side, oh, she done been to India. She done bought walks on the beach with her grandfather. She was raised in the Indian culture. And Indian. Yeah, she fucked Willie Brown to get on. Yeah, she fucked Montel Williams. But look who that bitch married. What's up, KP? Thank you for being a first-time live listener. Appreciate that. Oh yeah, I do want to start this off. Before I even get going any further, let me start this off correct. Rest in peace to my man, Kevin Williams. Oh, that was my dog. He was a comedy club promoter. Used to play basketball for UCLA. Business owner. Husband, father. Great man. And hell, hey, K-Will is how I met you, Tasha. In the chat room, Tasha Ray Hardy. That's how me and Tasha met through K-Will. A show that he was throwing. About 10 years ago. And me and Tasha been mad cool ever since. Hella cool. K-Will, you know, his death caught us by surprise, but y'all know how I be talking shit about these promoters and how the minute I stopped doing fluff comedy and started going into talking that real shit, most of LA comedy promoters stopped fucking with me. Not K-Will. K-Will was like, nigga, you can be as political as you want as long as you funny. And hell yeah, I'm funny. So he always gave me stage time. K-Will, the show that I had with I had a show with Freeze Love that me and Freeze Love did every Monday for about 6 months. K-Will was a guy that put that show together. So rest in peace, Kevin Williams, K-Will. Good brother. Good brother. So yeah. I just wanted to make sure I got that out there. Rest in peace to a good man. Yeah, King Moss, I did discuss Asians being attacked on the last broadcast, brother. So, no, Jamal Brandy, her father is, he lists himself as Jamaican on her birth certificate. He's a coolie. He's not white, he's a coolie. He's a buffer class. He's a coolie. Coolies are children of white kids that think they better than the rest of the niggas. So yeah, back to what we're talking about, these conservatives and liberals. These conservatives and these liberals, they play with one another. What's up, Brandon Tony? I appreciate that. Liberals and conservatives, they're on the same team against us. Both sides, however, know that they're full of shit. So since 1960, and George Wallace lost the election in 1960, Nixon didn't make it because they were saying too many niggas. So after 1960, they went behind closed doors and said, hey, we can't call them niggas no more. We got to do something different. So both sides went behind closed doors and spent the 60s giving black people fake wins and re-strategize how they're going to put out their white supremacy and their white supremacist point of views. So since the 60s, one thing that they've done, and they've done well, was recruit black people to speak for them. Your conservatives recruit people like Larry Elder. Your liberals recruit people like John Lewis and Sheila Jackson Lee to be your face. Both sides champion and advocate for things that are only going to benefit white society. Let's break this down. Let's start off with let's start off with Bill Maher. Bill Maher to the deck, please. Bill Maher is somebody who I used to be a fan of. I used to be a huge fan of Bill Maher. Real Time with Bill Maher was my shit. I've literally seen, I used to like Politically Incorrect when it was on when it was on ABC back in the late 90s. I watched that sometime when I was in high school. And then when he went to Real Time with Bill Maher, I think that was 2000 or 2001, sometime around there. I literally watched every episode, literally the whole decade of the early 2000s. From the first episode through 2010, I probably saw 100% of the episodes. Bill Maher was liberal. At the time, I thought that he was on our side. Because Bill Maher would talk about, he's close friends with Kid from Kid and Play. He used to date Superhead. He would bring Michael Eric Dyson and Cornel West onto his show. He would talk about smoking weed and how, it's crazy that black people are arrested for smoking weed when this back in the late 90s, early 2000s, before weed became legal. And he was a big champion for weed becoming legal because it put too many black people in jail and in prisons. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, this motherfucker's a friend. And then you would contrast that because he would have Megyn Kelly on his show regularly. Yeah, that's the mayonnaise bitch to the left on the camera. Yeah, I called her a bitch because she ain't shit. She don't like black people, so she's a bitch. You don't like black people, you a bitch. She's a musty-faced bitch. Look at her face. Look evil, too. She look like a pasty evil Lena from the, what's that, Snow White, whatever? She look like, Megyn Kelly look like the kind of chick that shit out her kids. Your kids came out the wrong canal, bitch. But I would see them having these back and forths. Same thing, Bill Maher, and I would wonder, like, okay, why do you keep bringing her on the show? If you're so liberal. And then he would turn around and bring what's that other long-haired, blonde, dusty bitch? Y'all know who I'm talking about, that be on Fox News. What's her name? That conservative chick. Not Kellyanne Conway. What's her name, chat room? She used to be on Real Time with Bill Maher a lot. I'm drawing a blank. Let's see. What was her name? Let me see. I'm looking up. Was it Laura Ingraham? Laura Ingraham must be another one he would have on the show. She has that long hair. Ann Coulter. Yep, thank you. Ann Coulter. Ann Coulter. He would have Ann Coulter musty ass on all the time. And I got to thinking like, man, who is this dude really? Because when you have a black person on, like Cornel West or Michael Eric Dyson, they say a bunch of fancy words and they kind of talk about racism, but they wouldn't really go that far. You know, they don't really go hard. Mos Def will go hard, but Mos Def stopped coming on that show after a while too. And during this time, I was still confused. The difference in the 2010s, not tens, the 2000s. At that time, I was still confused. I really thought liberals were my friend. I really did. Excuse me for being so stupid. And then I would watch this chick here, Rachel Maddow. I was a huge Rachel Maddow fan in college. MSNBC, 6 p.m. Western Time. She talked about all these things as if she was a friend of black society. And then you will see when the rubber met the road, these people wasn't shit. What got me off Bill Maher was when Trayvon Martin died, initially he didn't talk about it. It was a couple weeks went by before he talked about the killing. And then when he did bring it up, it was just kind of like, that's wrong. That's not right. It shouldn't happen. And then he moved on. And I'm thinking, hold on. If you're really cool with black people, that's all you gonna give to Trayvon Martin? So right there, I stopped watching the show regularly, but I would still check in every now and again. Then 2014, Eric Gardner is murdered by the New York Police Department. And Bill Maher was like, yeah, it's not right that he was killed, but, you know, I think maybe his weight had something to do with it. That's when I realized, okay, Bill Maher he's just as racist as Megyn Kelly. He's just as racist as Ann Coulter. See, at the time I knew liberals were racist and I knew conservatives were racist. But I played the same game a lot of black people play. Everybody, look, as black people, we all know these motherfuckers be racist. But let's just tell the truth. We play games with ourselves. We'll be like, okay, because I like this white guy, he can't be that. Oh, no. Not John. He can't be racist. We smoked weed and went to World on Wheels together. Nigga, but have you ever been over your white friend John's house on Thanksgiving or when his family's around? Cause you know you always got black folks. You know these niggas. Y'all know the kind of nigga I'm talking about. When they be like, anytime something go on, they think white ice is colder. They be like, why black people got to do this? See, white folks, they all get together. See, white people, they don't do nigga shit like this. That's just niggas. White. We all know that self-deprecating kind of nigga. Don't even know no white people. Niggas know two white people and they become the experts on white folks. You know, two white folks. The one you work with now at your job and the one you worked with on your last job. That's it. Y'all may have gone to happy hour after work for drinks, but I guarantee you ain't went over neither of them co-workers' houses. You don't know none of they white friends. You only see them at work And then when you go to lunch for drinks, and you don't even know when you go to lunch for drinks, they telling your boss about you drinking on the clock when they get back to work, and your dumb ass think that's your friend. I say this before and I said this again. I always say this. These people don't like they don't like you. They don't like black people. They like our culture. And they like our culture because our culture is dope. Not because they like us. They like our culture because our culture is dope. I want niggas to really understand that and get that. They like our culture because it's dope. Not because they like us. You're right, Mr. Ernest. It is a business. Niggas always want white people to understand us, and these non-black people to no, they never look. They understand that they racist. They understand that they ain't shit, but they benefit off of it. So the liberal white supremacist approach to racism is, let's get these black people under our wings. Let's get them up under us. Let's act like we care. Let's treat them with, at least on the surface level, with respect. You know, we're not going to really treat them with respect on how we behave and how we act. You know, we're not going to respect their humanity. But we'll at least say a few good things and keep them close. That's how the Northerners were when it came to slavery. The liberals are today's liberals are yesterday's Yankees. Let me say that again. Today's liberals are yesterday's Yankees. They don't fuck with you, nigga. The Yankees only ended slavery because it was too fucking cold to have year-round slavery in the North. The biggest plantation in America is on Long Island. Did y'all know that? Do people even know why Rikers Island even exists? Rikers Island exists because that was a slave catching facility. What they would do is they would go around in the north, and they would catch random black people who were considered native at the time. Remember, go look up Webster's Dictionary of an American in 1828. It's going to say copper-skinned individuals found by European settlers upon arrival to America. So remember that. The original Americans are copper-skinned individuals. That's what Webster said back in 1828 before they started to before the Dawes Rolls revised history. So Rikers Island was a place that they would capture black people, and they would send them to Rikers Island and hold them without charges. And then from there, they would sell them off into slavery in the North and also down South. The North stopped slavery because it was you can't be feeding, 100 slaves on your plantation in the middle of January when it's frozen over and there's literally no work to do. So the North had to end slavery because it wasn't cost effective. That's why they ended slavery. It was not cost effective. Then they turned around and said, okay, South, you must end the slavery too because, hey, it's not right. It's morally not right. Slavery was never a moral issue for the North. It never was. It was always business. It was always money. And the South was getting too rich off their free labor. So the South said, nigga, fuck you. I ain't getting rid of shit. It don't slow down here in Alabama. I could work these niggas December, January, February, March, April, May, through December. So get the fuck out my face, North, you liberals, you Yankees. And so the South was so determined to keep their slaves. That in 1860, Jefferson Davis left in 1861. He left his Senate seat and became the leader of the new Confederate States of Confederate States of America. That same Senate seat was later swooped up and taken by Hiram Revels, a black person, took Jefferson Davis's Senate seat in 1869 after slavery was over with. But Black History factoid, Hiram Revels, look him up. Hiram Revels, he took Jefferson Davis's Mississippi Senate seat in 1869, becoming the first black person to become a United States senator. Back to what we were talking about, Yankees versus conservatives. So they started the Civil War, and they started it based on the economic impact that no slavery had on the North and the economic benefits slavery had on the South. Meanwhile, the North, they can't talk about it from an economic point of view, because if you talk about it from an economic point of view, you look like a dickhead. So they said, okay, no, this is a moral thing. Slavery's wrong, and it shouldn't happen. And so they went to war. One of Abraham Lincoln's famous quotes was, if I can keep slavery and keep the Union together, I do it. But since I can't keep the Union together, I gotta do what I gotta do, basically. So they came out like they were ending slavery on some moral basis, when really they was looking at their pockets. Remember, Martin Luther King said he had faced more racism in Chicago than he did ever down south in Mississippi or Alabama or Tennessee. That's the liberal approach. Use black people as a moral high ground, when really agreeing with the conservatives the whole time. How do we know this? After slavery, Ulysses Grant does he instills Reconstruction, brings federal troops to protect black people, to rebuild the South. And then in the election of 1876, the election between Tilden and Rutherford B. Hayes, Tilden won that election, but Oregon was on some 50-50 bullshit. But Tilden really won that election. But it had to go to the Supreme Court and yada, yada, yada. And the compromise was, okay, Tilden, even though you got more votes, even though Rutherford B. Hayes and these motherfuckers did some shady shit, we'll give the election to Rutherford B. Hayes as long as federal troops get taken out of the South. So the liberals said, fine. Here, take our president and we'll remove them niggas from the South. I mean, remove the protection from the South, and you can have at them niggas any way you want. See, we've always been a pawn piece for the conservatives. I mean, for the liberals, for the Yankees, for the left wing of white supremacy. The Yankees would have lost the Civil War if they didn't start selecting black people in December of 1862. Remember, go back to Robert Smalls. Robert Smalls was another black person that became a United States Senator. Another black, and I talked about him before. We all know about Robert Smalls, faithful listeners to this show. One of my heroes. Matter of fact, I'm going to do a Robert Smalls t-shirt. I think that's going to be my next t-shirt, the Robert Smalls t-shirt. I think I'm going to do a Robert Smalls t-shirt. But Robert Smalls was a person that was born into slavery, escaped slavery, stole a motherfucking Confederate naval ship, jumped on that ship, took it to the north for the Union Army, went back down there, got his wife and his homies about slavery, And then Robert Smalls convinced Abraham Lincoln to allow unions, so black people to fight for the Union. And Robert Smalls recruited over 5,000 recruits for the U.S. For the Army to fight in the Civil War. After Robert Smalls did that, Harriet Tubman joined, and the North went ahead to defeat the South in the Civil War. Black people won the war for the liberals, for the Yankees. And what did the liberals and Yankees have to say to reward black society for helping them out? Get back to work, nigga. That's how black people were rewarded. That's how black people were rewarded. Black people were rewarded on some get back to work shit. Like they always do. I should do a free Bill Cosby shirt. Oh my God! Here, as I'm talking, I just went back and looked at the chat room. Somebody said, "DeJuan thinks slavery was over. That's a problem." How the fuck you know what I think, nigga? See, that's the thing. You get people that'll come in, they new around, and they just think that they know it all. So because you're drawing and making a point, they gonna go around and be like, well, DeJuan thinks this, DeJuan thinks that. No, nigga, I think your mama's titties are too small. That's what I think. I think your mama's A cups need some implants. That's what I think. When did I ever say slavery was over? I'm painting a picture here, talking in context, developing a story. When someone's talking in context and developing a story, guess what? You can't cover everything. But smart people understand that. Smart people understand that this is a conversation that we have right now. Smart people understand that everything can't be everything true in the world, of all the trillions of things true, cannot be covered in one conversation. You got to keep a steady stream of thought. So you get people up in the chat room that they want some attention because they see someone aggregated a group of people. So they want to get in the chat room and be like, he's not smart. I'm smart and here's why. God damn. I swear these motherfuckers is dumb as hell. He thinks slavery is over. Niggas can't even wait till you finish your point, your whole story before they start jumping in with assumptions. That's nothing we gotta get rid of in black society. Niggas that talk too goddamn much. When I'm around somebody who has information, I listen. I listen. Because even if they're saying something that I think that I know, they may have a point of view that I haven't heard before from that same thing that I think that I know. That's going to either expand or contract my knowledge of that situation. And if I have something to say about what someone else says, I go to my own audience and I say it. I don't believe in running around trying to prove to everybody, oh, look how much smarter I am because I see it this way and you don't. We have too many niggas on that wavelength. Instead of going back, researching, studying, and developing their own brand, their own way of thing, and going out and finding their own audience and go and say these things too, they got to go to where audience is already aggregated, and then be like, "This is what I think." Nigga, fuck what you think. If anybody gave a fuck what you thought, they'd be on your channel. Back to what we're talking about. You're right, Sylvester. Context is not something everyone can grasp. You're 100% right about that. Context is everything. That's why I try to give a context to what I'm speaking on. And I keep what I'm speaking on in that context, Because when you put everything in a context, you can learn something. So back to what we were talking about. The liberal form of white supremacy. Liberals believe in putting black people under their wings, giving black people jobs, giving black people tasks and duties, so the liberals can monitor what the fuck we do. Liberals know they can't necessarily speak for us. They try to from time to time. So what they do is they get people like Sheila Jackson Lee, people like Elijah Cummings, people like John Lewis, and they get them to speak for us. The liberals get those black people to say everything's a black issue. Immigration's a black issue. Kids in cages on the border, that's a black issue. That's what they'll get us to do. You're right, Mickey. Mickey, you a dope moderator. I know you be snipping them. Mickey sometimes be a little quick with the snip. Mickey Knox, you be a little quick with the taking motherfuckers out sometimes. But I ain't tripping. KP, good point. Angela Fraud Davis, another liberal. This is before the internet. This one I realized, I didn't realize, but I had a feeling about Angela Davis. Back in 1995, this was when my sister was going off to college. And 94, 95, my sister would do a lot of college tours because she was trying to figure out what college she was going to. I was in high school, middle school, going into high school at the time. So, but anything college related, I would go with my sister, my big sister. Shouts out to Ingrid. I love my sister. My sister, my best friend. I love her. Me and my sister, that's my nigga right there. When I tell you we talk damn near every day still, and we be laughing. If I go more than 3 or 4 days without talking to my sister and laughing, something wrong. Well, my big sister was going to college, so I would go to all of her college, the different recruiting things. And so my sister had a college recruitment event at University not Cal State, UCI, University of California at Irvine. UCI, the University of California at Irvine. And so as they were recruiting her to the school, they had Angela Davis speak. This is like 94, 95, sometime around there. Before the internet got cracking the way it is. The internet was around, but it wasn't really, everybody wasn't on it. I used to have to go to my mom's job to get on the internet back then. It was still called the World Wide Web. They didn't call it, they called it the World Wide Web. And yeah, I had to go to my mom's job to get on it back then, but it wasn't the communication apparatus that it is now. Especially for black people. White supremacists been communicating on the internet, but niggas wasn't really on it like that back in 94, 95. Angela Davis went to talking about, and she has this weird sounding voice, and I was never a Black Panther because being a Black Panther, I was never a Black Panther because they didn't like women, and it was very misogynistic. The Black Panthers were very misogynistic, and I'm thinking to myself like, bitch, ain't you supposed to be talking about white supremacy, but you clowning the Black Panthers? Did Eldridge Cleaver hit it and quit it or something? She was talking as if Bunchy Carter smashed and ran. And I was like, okay, Angela Davis is spending more time talking about misogyny and what the Black Panthers weren't than she is talking about black people liberating ourselves from our current condition. Mind you, 94, we're only 2 years removed from Rodney King here in LA. 2.5 years removed from Natasha Harlins. And she's talking about misogyny. Liberal shit. Hey, Mickey Knox, do me a favor. And this is the rule. Mickey Knox, do me a favor. I like you, James Turner, but put James Turner on 100-minute timeout. Don't kick him out. Just time him out. That joke was horrible. Some jokes are good. Some jokes are like okay. That joke was terrible. I don't have any tolerance for just flat out horrible fat jokes. Fat jokes are way too easy for you to bomb that bad, James Turner. I'm not even gonna put that horrible ass joke up on the scene. God damn, give me something to laugh at. Give me something to laugh at if you're gonna say a black joke. That's the only requirement. If you're gonna say a fat joke, make it be funny. God damn, that was a horrible joke. But yeah, Rob, Angela Davis is an agent. Liberal shit. Get black people. Bobby Rush, former Black Panther. You notice all these former Black Panthers, all these former people from the Black Liberation Movement are now goddamn liberals. Huey said, nah, I'm good. That's the liberal. You all have liberal white friends. I'm gonna get to the conservatives in a minute, but right now I'm focusing on the liberals because the liberals are more of a problem for us than the conservatives. You all had that liberal, or either have or had that liberal white friend. They act like they're cool. They were the first to put a Black Lives Matter t-shirt on after Trayvon Martin was killed. Y'all know these liberals. They can tell you and recite for you line for line everything Jay-Z said. Hell, the deep down liberals, these motherfuckers even like Jadakiss. They can tell you every line of every song in hip hop except for Cave Bitch by Ice Cube. They ain't gonna listen to Cave Bitch. Stringy hair, no derriere, frontin' and faking with your silicone pair. Do I wanna fuck? Not hardly. It's kind of like Barbie fucking Bob Marley. I love that song, Cave Bitch by Cube. I love that song. Standing by my back door thinking I would switch. Spread out, you little cave bitch. They can tell you every hip hop line except for that song. Because that song talking about their mama. Y'all know these white folks. That's a good point. They don't, me and Moses, they ain't necessarily white friends. They're white acquaintances. That's better. That's more like it. They're more like white acquaintances. But y'all remember, it's a little more clear now in 2021 on social media. But y'all remember 2015, 2016 on social media? It was a lot of y'all that were cool with your former white coworkers, and y'all had a lot of white coworkers and former white classmates and former white people that you knew from different things that you've done over your life that you were Facebook friends with, that since 2015, 2016, you've been deleting them hoes or blocking them one by one on your social media. Because they be cool as hell. They hate Trump. They act like they really down with black people until reparations gets on the table. That right there is a defining line on whether or not your liberal friends, quote unquote, fuck with you or not. Reparations. Because as soon as reparations gets on the table, now they're all right. Now, hey. We need to. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, we need to We need to, stop police brutality, but hey, I'm not gonna pay for something that my grandfather did. But you benefit from what your grandfather did. Well, them motherfuckers get real different when it come time for reparations. And that's one thing I noticed when I was going back to Bill Maher. When I was a big Bill Maher fan, I'll never forget he brought Ta-Nehisi Coates on to talk about reparations. And Bill Maher let him talk. Ta-Nehisi Coates wasn't even talking about reparations for slavery. He was just talking about reparations during Jim Crow. Which ain't enough, but at least it's something. And Bill Maher didn't agree with that. And I was like, Bill Maher don't fuck with us. Rachel Maddow never had reparations as a serious topic on her show. If she does talk about reparations, she's going to make sure to bring on some niggas that talk about why we don't need reparations. And it became very, 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 very clear that liberals only fuck with us to have numbers over the conservatives, because it's more conservative white folks than it is liberal white folks. So the liberals need us to have the numbers to do what they do. They can't do what they do, all that sick, twisted, organ grinding, Hershey Highway shit that they like doing, bending over and smelling like dookie, all that dookie love that they like. They can't do that without us co-signing it, because there ain't enough of them. There's not enough people packing shit to change the laws. And there's no disrespect, but I feel disrespected when there's an issue going on with black folks and you talk about all Black Lives Matter. You want to take the rainbow that the Black Panthers created and say now it's yours, and take all the resources and not share it with black people. That's that liberal shit. Rob McCoy said, I dropped plenty of white friends and Cap took a knee. Yeah, that Cap taking a knee was a watershed moment. That was a moment you really got to see who was who. Oh yeah, Sylvester, I remember when he brought Cube on. That was the last episode of Real Time of Bill Maher that I watched. And I only watched it because Cube was going to be on. And Cube checked him, and Bill Maher, y'all remember Bill Maher's body language? He kind of rolled his eyes like, yeah, I know I shouldn't have said that, but damn. Bill Maher's a bitch. Bill Maher's a hoe. Fuck Bill Maher. Oh yeah, don't forget Horny Little Devil from Death Certificate. Death Certificate, like I said before, is one of the greatest albums ever written. The Poo Poo Passions and the Black Foundational. Hit the like button, share, and subscribe. This is a room safe for black people, black Americans. It's open to anybody. Anybody want to come in and talk and listen, not talk. Anybody want to come in and listen? If you ain't black and you want to listen to this game, if you really care about black people, like you say you do, like you care about our music and you want to listen, and then take the information that I'm telling you and go back to your society and fix your society, I'm down. All day. But for you niggas that go around, and for you white folks that go around, and you non-black people that go around black spaces just to tell black people how we should react to your bullshit, the door is right. It's one click away. Go to your top left of your screen. If you're on your computer, hit the back button. If you're listening on the app, there's an arrow pointing to the left at the top left of your YouTube app. If you're a non-black person or a black person and you're coming here and your intentions are to listen to what we're saying and tell black people what black people need to do, then the door is one click away. But the door is open for people who are willing to take what I have to say and take it back to their society to fix their society. Because it's nothing liberals do. Liberals like coming into black spaces. They'll listen. You know what I mean? They'll say what's up. They'll put on the little black scent. They'll be quote unquote cool. Quote unquote. But then when it comes time to solving problems, they want to tell black people what black people need to do. And where black people messed up. Now get your bitch ass from around our circles. You the worst kind of white people. Y'all. At least a conservative is going to stay where the fuck he is. He ain't going to get in our mix. A conservative is going to stay in their corner. They're going to jack off to Dolly Parton. Listen to Waylon Jennings. You know, they're going to clean their guns. The conservatives are going to, they spend their free time fucking their cousins. And they leave us the fuck alone. And I'm cool with that. You ain't gotta like me. Just stay the fuck away from me. You won't. I don't believe. Look, black people. I don't believe everybody gotta like us. I don't like everybody, so they ain't gotta like me. I'm cool with people who don't like me. Just make it clear and get the fuck out of my way. But these liberals always want to come up in our circle, coming around what we doing, and then the minute we done with what we got to do, they want to talk. No, if you're white and you're in a black space, you shut the fuck up and you listen to what the black people are saying, and you take it. If you're not just white, if you're white, Latino, Asian, Kamala Harris, or anybody that's non-black, you don't have anything to say to us. If you're black but from a different country, you don't have shit to say to us. If you're non-foundational black American, if you're from the Caribbean, if you're from Ghana, if you're from South Africa, or wherever you're from, when we talking race, you sit down and you listen. Because we've been dealing with this shit directly. White supremacy starts its bullshit with us and then exports it to everybody else. And you got people that come to this country and they'll see the condition black people are in and they'll think it's something wrong with us. Nigga, every time this country allows people over, is during or after they've attacked us and destroyed what we built. You got these people from foreign backgrounds trying to tell black people to run a business. Motherfucker, my grandparents had their own goddamn business all through the 60s, 70s, even through the early 80s, until they got to an age where they didn't want to do it anymore. Because white supremacy made it hard for them to get loans to refinance their business. The distribution prices were more for the black business than they were for the foreign businesses. Economic warfare placed on black Americans by the government that we pay taxes to, by the government that we helped create, is why we in a fucked up situation. Black Americans, like, look, and this is no disrespect to other groups, but if you didn't build where you stand, and if you didn't build your heaven, if you didn't build your Wakanda, if you didn't build your dream place in your home first, you can't come here and tell us how to do it. Because we built this shit. They just took it. And then we rebuilt and they took again. And each time they take, they use these other groups as buffers between us and them. The reason why Black Wall Street can happen in 1921, the reason why Wilmington can happen in 1918, the reason why the late 19-teens through the late 1920s was filled with black towns around the country being burnt down, It's because white supremacy, after the Immigration Act of 1881, they recruited all these foreigners who at the time were not considered black. White. Irish weren't considered white. Italians weren't considered white. Jews weren't considered white. These were ethnic minorities that they were playing this we're all in this game together shit with. Go back to the Populist Party of 1892. In 1896, ethnic whites and black people together. Those other groups, they with us, they like our jazz music, they fuck with us on the music tip. But the minute we build some shit, all those ethnic whites, ethnic minorities who weren't considered white at the time, band together with the right white people to burn down the shit that we built. All these other groups, when they got numbers, they fuck up what we got. So if you ain't from here, sit down and listen. Black people got to stop allowing people from other parts of the world to speak for us. And that's why I don't fuck with Sheila Jackson Lee. That Statue of Liberty haircut she got. Sheila Jackson Lee, she look like a human Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. This is a safe space for Black Americans to speak 100% raw. Cause we got to talk this shit out so we can get back to doing shit. And we got to stop being apologetic. We got to stop caring about what other people think. I like to make it clear that there's no hate in my heart. But at the same time, if you feel hate, nigga, that's on you. That's because it's hate in your heart being projected back onto me and those of us who speak this way. We got to stop caring about what other people think. Which I'm going to speak on before I get to talk about these liberals. We got to stop caring about what other people think. I remember in my comments section on one of my last videos, a faithful listener, somebody who I'm totally cool with, have no issues with. If you're listening, shout out to you, but I'm not going to call you out by name. But if you're listening, you know what I'm talking about, shout out to you. They had a concern that when I talked about Bill Cosby, that I was making what we do equal to white people. Let me start off by saying that. Let me start off by saying something. I don't play fair. I'm in a system that doesn't play fair with me, so I don't play fair with the system. Let me say that one more time. I am in a system that doesn't play fair with me, so I don't play fair with the system. I say what needs to be said to get black people's heads on straight so we can fight this motherfucking system and win without giving a fuck how the system feels about it. The issue was when I talked about you have to know history from the context of the time that the things happened. Remember this, you always have to look at history from the time that these things happened, from that point of view. And the red herring that the person brought up was like, hey, if you're justifying Bill Cosby doing what he did in the 70s, they can say the same thing about slavery. Look at here. People who are down with slavery are going to use anything that they want to justify slavery. I'm not going to miss out on a teaching moment, on a moment of truth, just because some racist degenerate might twist what I said and use it for their own means. A racist degenerate is going to use anything you say for their benefit. You can say, man, I wish black people get more cars. A racist will say, oh, you said black. Do you know that black people have a high percentage of deaths in car accidents? Why do you want black people to get cars? They're just going to get into an accident, and according to the percentages, they're going to kill themselves. nigga, that's not even what I'm talking about. A racist is going to twist anything you do for their own benefit and end. So we can't go around as black people walking on eggshells, acting like, some morally superior group of people because of what a racist and degenerate might think about what we doing. Fuck what a racist thinks. And I stand on what I said. Because going back to Bill Cosby, when you read Janice Dickinson's book, she talked about using Spanish Fly and that being the norm of the 70s. It was mutually the norm. It was a norm for men and it was the norm for women back then. Nowadays, it's an illegal thing. It's taboo. So they pick and choose who they go back in history and accuse of doing fraudulent things when at the time, everybody was in on it. No, that's not a slippery slope when it comes to talking about slavery. Because slaves didn't wake up one day and say, hey, let me go on down to that plantation down there and get myself a job. Slaves were never cool with slavery. So even if you go back to 1840 and use the argument, well, they justified slavery back then. No. The slave owners and people who benefited from slavery justified slavery by those means. Slaves never was down with that shit. Why the fuck you think they kept running? So no, just because I use an example saying this is what we need to do as a people, and I'm giving you a context, don't go around equating it to what white people do. Fuck what they do. Use shit for your own advantage. And if you want to know more about context and about societal norms changing every 25 years, I suggest you go down to your local junior college, make it cheap. You ain't got to go to a 4-year. Go to your local junior college, enroll in a cultural anthropology class, enroll in a few sociology classes, and learn something. Learn context. Learn this on a deeper level than I can teach you. I talk shit. I know sociology. I know anthropology, but I don't know well enough to teach you niggas. So why don't y'all go to, if you want to know more about it, go and take a class on it. I got A's in them classes. I tell you that. I got A's in all my anthropology and sociology classes though. A's across the board. And I didn't get that many A's, nigga. I was a C student like a motherfucker. But I got A's in my sociology and my anthropology classes. Those are one of the few courses I did get A's in. And then to teach you how to study people, how to study norms, how to study societies. It'll help you filter through the bullshit if you're having a hard time understanding where I'm coming from when I say these things. All right? And I say that with love to my brothers and my sisters. What's up, Guru? Yeah. You're right, Marco. There is no compromising with racist logic. Racists are going to do what racists do. Black people can't be afraid to speak up because of what a racist might do. I appreciate you, Zen Master. Yes, right. Me and Zen Master cool, but sometimes we be arguing like a motherfucker on here. But I appreciate you, Zen Master, because you a real nigga. You know how to take an argument. You know how to, when we go back and forth, how to take it as just what we talking about in context and not something personal. Because there is nothing personal. Look, there ain't a goddamn thing personal happen over the internet. You dig? It ain't personal. Sometimes I might disagree with the motherfucker and we're going to talk a little bit of shit. But I go right back to being me as soon as we're done talking about it. And hopefully you go back to being you. Zen Master is somebody who I will vehemently disagree with sometimes on here. And he'll come right back because Zen Master knows that, hey, at the end of the day, it ain't personal. So I appreciate you, big dog, for living that example. Sometimes Zen Master be saying shit. I be like, what the fuck is this nigga talking about? But I still respect the man. Nothing but respect for you. I respect people. If I disagree with somebody in the chat room, understand this. Any disagreement I have with anybody in the chat room, I still respect you. Unless you're going around talking about and you're shitting on black society as a whole and you're taking it personal, then not now it's going to go to a different level. But if you just disagree with something I said and I use you as an example, I still respect you. And I respect our points of view of difference. I just sometimes like to use comments made in the chat room as examples to clarify my point of view. So now let's talk about the conservatives. I'm not going to spend as much time on the conservatives because we already know exactly who these motherfuckers are. But I still want to talk about it. Because conservatives are slick too. This is what they'll do. They'll use... let me say something about conservative. Black people are conservative too. Black people, we're conservative too. As a society. Look at Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King's parents were conservative. He was very conservative, his family. Martin Luther King was seen as a radical within his family. Hell, Martin Luther King was seen as a radical within his own organization. Go back. I'm not going to, because I want y'all to go back and listen to some of these shows that I do, because I be breaking shit down. Go back to the show I did on Martin Luther King, on King Day. When I broke down how Martin Luther King's own organization was at odds with him as he became more open. Those conservative Negroes had an issue with Martin Luther King. Black people are conservative, especially when you look at us, like when you see like a lot of this shit going on right now, black people don't like ghetto hood behavior. Let me say that again. Black people, we don't really fuck with ratchet shit like that. Ratchets fuck with ratchet shit. Ratchets are a small but growing minority within black society. The problem is the liberal whites throw as many ratchets and degenerates as they can on camera to represent black people. So then the conservatives, they'll come in and they'll play on that, because at the end of the day, the conservatives know that we're a lot more alike than we are with the liberals. They know that. They know that. They know we have more of a conservative mindset. Why? Look, black people been here longer than everybody. I said this before and I'll say this again. White Americans and black Americans, foundational black Americans, those of us who've been here, white America and black America are cousins. The fight between white and black in the United States of America is a family affair. I've seen it going back to my family history, and I encourage like I always encourage people in here, go do some family history research. You'll see it in your own family. You will see this in your own family. Go back far enough. You got a white great-great-great-granddaddy somewhere. You got a white great-great-great-granduncle at least. If you ain't got a great-great-granddaddy, you got a white great-great-great-granduncle. That's for sure. If you chase your lineage back to pre-1860 America. The difference is the white side got the resources. The white side got the land. The white side got the money that was left by white daddy. The black cousins didn't get shit. George Washington's grandchildren, black grandchildren still running around. They ain't got shit. Thomas Jefferson's black great-great-grandchildren running around. They ain't got shit. Hell, this a nigga. Bill Clinton's son is still walking around. He ain't got shit. He ain't got shit. Look at this. Just found the picture. Just found the picture. This nigga. Look at this. You can't tell me that ain't Bill Clinton's son, Danny Williams. Look at this side by side. The fight between white and black in America is a family fucking affair. And all you foreign motherfuckers coming up here, y'all get in the middle of a family dispute, wondering, and then y'all taking it personal that we kicking y'all out the way. Shut the fuck up and watch what's going on. You didn't build your own shit, but you want to tell us something. When you got black people running around who got bastard fathers who left their mamas hanging and left them struggling. That's what it means to be black in America. I've had it a few times in my own personal family. I always go back to my cousin, my 5 times great granddad, Natchez, Mississippi, 1855. I keep this article on my computer desk just so I can pull it out every now and again. This is when they freed my 5 times great granddaddy. Right here. I found the newspaper clipping from Natchez, Mississippi. I'm going to read it. Main mission of 9 slaves, F.W. Harris, Esquire of Mississippi, appeared before Judge Parker yesterday morning on behalf of Nathaniel Hoggett of Adams County, Mississippi. And manumitted the following slaves. Nellie, age 21 years. Her 2 children, age 1, 2, 3, and other 4 months. Mary, age 17. Anthony, age 24. And they go through the name of the different ones. They're all light mulattoes. This is my 6 times great granddad. All light mulattoes. They still was enslaved though. They were property of Wilfred Hoggett, his dad, my 7 times great granddad, the white dude that the mulattoes got their last name from, who at death gave them their freedom in his will, but here's the part, the kicker right here. Wilfred Hoggett gave them freedom in the will, but from unforeseen circumstances, the will was not carried into effect until his son Nathaniel arrived at legal age. Mind you, at the time Nathaniel is 2 months old. My great uncle. When he came to the city with the slaves and caused their liberation. So yeah, basically, when my mulatto, who he was born mulatto, but on his death certificate, it said Negro. Yeah, it said mulatto right here, but on that death certificate, that shit said Negro. This is a family affair, people. The white side of the Hoggetts got to keep that plantation. The black side didn't. Do you know this plantation was in Natchez, Mississippi? Do you guys know what the fuck Natchez, Mississippi was in 1855 and through the 1890s? Natchez, Mississippi was some of the wealthiest, most prosperous land in the United States of America. Rivertown, Mississippi River, cotton. Cotton is king. Natchez, Mississippi had more per capita millionaires at the time of the civil rights, at the time of the Civil War,
than New York City had. That's valuable land that my 5 times great granddaddy had to leave behind and move to Benton Harbor, Michigan, because his mulatto black ass couldn't keep it because of the color of his skin. That's why we need reparations. My family's always done well with what we had. Because my other side of the family, the Roberts side, moved to Indiana. They bought 900 acres of Indiana that they still own. But they were never enslaved, the Roberts side of my family. The Hoggett side was, and the Hoggets and the Roberts got married one another. And that went on to my 4 times great granddad, the son of Wilfred Hoggett, not Wilfred, the son of Anthony Hoggett, went ahead and invented the railroad crossing, the automatic trip for the railroad crossing. And he then took that money to move the family from Benton Harbor, Michigan to Los Angeles, California in the 1920s, where I still reside today. See, when you black and you know your history, you can't be fooled. And you ain't gonna listen to no fucking immigrant and tell you what you need to listen to and do. No. This is a family affair. Why the color of my skin is the reason why we couldn't benefit from some of the richest land in America. Not because we did anything, not because we committed a crime, not because somebody was silly in the family and gambled the land away, not because of any of those circumstances other than the color of the skin of my great-great-great-granddaddy. We don't get to keep no land. The fight between white and black in America is a family affair. There's black people running around here right now with massive plots of land that they should have gotten passed down to them 100 years ago, and they didn't because of the color of their fucking skin. Long before any of you immigrant motherfuckers came here. If you have respect for that, I respect you. If you don't respect that, fuck you. And that's the kind of mindset we got to have as black people. People who don't respect our plight, people who don't respect our fight, people who don't respect what was us getting ours, we don't have to explain to them shit. Fuck them. And that's the end of the conversation. It's over after that. They have nothing to say. Yes, Sylvester, that was a Devil's Punch Bowl area. Yep. So yeah. This is a family affair. And the conservatives know that. That's why the conservatives preach such hard separation. That's why the conservatives really try to push us far away as possible. Because if we get close enough, we're going to share some of the same facial features. We're going to share some of the same mannerisms. Because we got the same great granddaddy. Yeah, Sinbad is from Benton Harbor, Michigan. He is. That's where my family come. When my family went north, the Hoggets went to Benton Harbor, Michigan. And they married the Roberts, who left Northampton, Virginia, and moved to Indiana in the year 1830. The Roberts established the first black Masonic temple, not Masonic, the Black Masons in Prince Hall. My 6 times great granddaddy established the Prince Hall Masons in the state of Illinois. And his grandson, my great uncle, became the first black senator in Illinois state history in 1924. That's nothing. When you know your history, all this first black person to do this, all first black person to that, all that shit go out the window. Niggas been doing shit forever since day one. Zen Master, you trace yours back to European in the 1400s English? Me too. I traced my lineage so far and I haven't even gone all the way back. I got further to go, but I stopped because I've just been busy doing other shit. I traced family members on the Roberts side going back to England in 1500. Middle Essex, London. In that side of the family came here to the United States in 1660 and married the first dark-skinned Native American that they could find. Oh, it's funny. When I go back and look at my family history, it's a lot of white people that came over here marrying free black people. Yeah. There's also a family that came a little later from England, and they married into the Potawatomi tribe. Dark-skinned Native Americans in the Michigan area, Benton Harbor. Benton Harbor, Michigan is where the Potawatomi were. And the Potawatomi were dark as hell with long hair. And I look at my mom and my sister and my little nieces. My sister has long hair. Like my sister's hair, as a kid growing up, we used to always call her Pocahontas. And my little nieces, Madison and Layla, god damn, their hair go down to the back of their knees. I love my little babies. And it ain't been nothing but black on black people marrying in my family for the last over 100 years. You have a white person come in that would marry a free black person. You have a white person that come in, they would marry. And that's nothing. They talk about marriage. Man, look, my 6 times great grandmama from Germany, the Schaeffers, they married the Roberts up in Illinois just fine back in the 1800s. The only difference was her birth certificate showed white, her death certificate showed Negro. That's nothing they would do. White folks will reclassify themselves as Negro in order to marry a black person. All on my mom's side. Then I go to my dad's side. My dad's side is nigga on top of nigga. It's a few white. I ran across one white great grand uncle who raped, my great grandfather's sister and had kids. But on that side, that's just nigga on top of nigga. But again, like I said, it's a family affair. The fight between white and black is a family affair. Why was my 5 times great aunt raped by the slave master to begin with? And you gonna come here after 1965 and tell black people what we can and can't get? Niggas, we better grow some balls and tell these motherfuckers what the real is. But conservatives ain't shit. Conservatives want to keep that secret away. So their way is to keep a distance between us. And what they'll do is they'll play on the fact that they'll see black people like me, like us, disgruntled with the liberal side of white supremacy. And they'll say, you may as well just become a conservative then. The Republican Party, they're no worse. Remember Trump said that. What do you get from the Democrats? You might as well. The key is not to fuck with either side. And to codify and fuck with black first ideologies politically. When it comes to political ideology, if they ain't fucking with black Americans, those who descend from slavery, and those who descend from the era of slavery in the United States, then they ain't talking to us, no matter how they look. They ain't shit. Fuck them conservatives. They want to come and swoop in just because we ain't fucking with liberals like that and be like, hey, you might as well be part of us. No, fuck you too. One thing black people got to stop doing is always trying to run to a team. Stop running all these teams. Nigga, create and form your own team. Oh, I'm not going to be a liberal because they racist. Ooh, I'm going to be a conservative. Oh, why are you conservative? That's the party of Trump. Don't do that. Nigga, how about don't do either? How about that? How about that? You're right, Mo. I've always been in the. I was a Democrat. My first election voting was the election of 2000. Gore versus Bush, and I voted for Gore. I was a registered Democrat then. I was a registered Democrat in 2002. I was a registered Democrat in 2004. But when I saw Bush, the Democrats couldn't find nobody to beat Bush. 9/11 happened on the Bush's watch. Go back and watch the movie Fahrenheit 9/11. You see when them planes hit them towers, Bush sitting there reading some fucking books to some kindergartners, looking like a goddamn fool, frozen, didn't know what to do. Bush tanked the economy. Bush created the Patriot Act, which we're still under. All this, for you people that's too young, all this whole thing with Real ID, Patriot Act. This whole thing with you can't deposit more than $10,000 in cash in your bank account, Patriot Act. This whole surveillance of bank accounts and where the money is going, Patriot Act. This whole airplane rides not being fun, allowing them to charge for bags and have us sit through all these long ass lines, Patriot Act. Monitoring of the phones and the internet the way it is, Patriot Act. We're still living under Patriot Act America. Trump didn't bring in no fucking Patriot Act. Bush did. The Patriot Act was something that had been around since the 80s. I forgot what the original name was, but America wasn't falling for it, wasn't fucking with it. It took that event of 9/11, of them towers to fall. Now all of a sudden, they adopted legislation that had been around for already over 24 years. We have no friends. The Patriot Act was set to expire. Who extended the Patriot Act? President Obama. The Patriot Act was set to expire. Who extended the Patriot Act? President Trump. That goes to show you, both sides, they playing volleyball with each other and we the fucking net. Nigga, we ain't in the game, we the net. We really think we in the game. These niggas is playing volleyball, tossing that ball over the net. To one another. They having a good time. They playing beach volleyball. It's warm. 82-degree day on Manhattan Beach with a slight breeze. Sun outside in the sand. Democrats on one side of the volleyball net. Republicans on the other side of the volleyball net. Playing a good game of volleyball. And the people out there thinking that they're choosing teams to be on. Oh, I'm on the Republican team. Oh, I'm on the Democrat team. No, nigga, you the net. The whole point is to knock this ball over your ass and keep it away from you. You lose when the ball, the two teams, either side, they lose when the ball hits the net. If the ball gets caught up on the net and the net gets a chance to have the ball, the game is, you lost. You lost the point right there. That's not the point of the game. The point is to keep this ball over the net, away from the net. That's the game we playing. Don't let the ball hit the net. Don't give these motherfuckers that pay taxes an opportunity to control the ball. That's against the rules. You're right, and the ball with the net and the ball. Neither side cares about us.
Neither side gives a fuck. That's what we dealing with. Peace and honor, George, from Huntsville, Alabama. Oh man, Huntsville, shit. Look, I have a rule. I don't go to any Huntsville. Huntsville, Georgia, Huntsville, Texas, Huntsville, Arkansas, Huntsville, Alabama. Salute to you, my brother. But anytime I'm in a Huntsville, I feel like they're about to go hunt them a nigga. And now that's why they call it Huntsville. I special shout out to any of you brothers from Huntsville. Whatever Huntsville you from, shouts out to you. I've gotten used to these liberal white supremacists over here in LA because they ain't gonna say shit, they ain't gonna do shit. They just gonna go behind your back and be hoes. I got used to them hoe ass motherfuckers. Although I do have respect for the Huntsville style racists, the ones that be in your face. I ain't got no issues with them. Because they stay the fuck away from me. I beat their ass as they come across my path. Cool thing about anybody who lives in a Huntsville, if you live in a Huntsville, you probably live in a state that allows you to carry a gun. So that equals out the hunting in the ville. You get to keep a piece on you too. That's one thing I do appreciate about the South. Yeah, they got their guns, but I got mine too. Shouts out to anybody from Huntsville. So now I want to transition this in talking about, okay, what's the difference between a black friend and an enemy? Usually conservatives, especially liberals love elevating and putting black people up that push their cause. Anytime you see the liberals celebrating somebody like John Lewis, like Sheila Jackson Lee, then you know you're dealing with somebody who don't fuck with us. Have you ever seen a conservative or liberal say anything good about John Henry Clark? Have you ever heard a conservative or liberal talk positively about Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Dr. Claude Anderson, Neely Fuller Jr., Dr. Ben, Dr. Ivan Van Sertima? Have you ever heard that? That just points out the fact that they don't give a fuck about black people who really care about black people. They only put up black people who further their agenda. And that's why Sheila Jackson Lee ho ass put up this nigga to speak for us at the reparations conference. Herschel Walker. They supposed to be talking out for black people. They supposed to be talking about reparations for us, and they allowed this dickhead onto the platform. They never allow an anti-immigrant Mexican on the show to talk about immigration and kids in cages. They never allow any anti-LGBTQ people to give their opinion on why gay people shouldn't be married in Congress. But when it comes to us, they recruit these kind of niggas. Hoes. Controlled opposition. You right, Mike Larry? Smash that like button. You said Huntsville Huntington. He said Huntington, I'm cool too. So when it comes to us as black people, we gotta understand, man. We don't have any friends, like Dr. John Henry Clark taught us. We have to codify around the black first ideology. You can be black and conservative. You can be black and liberal. And look, there's another thing. Black people, we're going to have different points of views. That's another thing. All this, we must think alike all the time exactly.
No, we don't. There are conservative black people. There are liberal black people. There are straight black people. There are gay black people. There are broke black people. There are wealthy black people. We cover the gamut. We cover the spectrum. We're not going to all think alike. We're not. We're never going to all think alike. That's impossible. We ain't never going to quote unquote come together. It's not happening. Nobody comes together. We just got to, when it comes to our politics and when it comes to ourselves, vote for people with a black first ideology or don't vote at all. And when it comes to ourselves, do things that benefit the group of black people. There are going to be things that black people do that benefit disproportionately conservative black people. There are going to be other things that black people do that disproportionately affect extra poor black people. There are going to be other things that black people do that disproportionately benefit wealthy black people. There are going to be other things black people do that disproportionately benefit uneducated black people. There are going to be things that black people do that disproportionately benefits highly educated black people. The whole point is it a greater good? Is what you're presenting, what you're doing good for the society? That's the whole point. Like I remember when the Cosby Show was out back in the day, you had people going around saying, black people don't live like that. I ain't never seen no black doctor and no black lawyer in the same household. Okay, your parents didn't do shit, but that don't mean they can't do what they did. And I wasn't even a big fan of the Cosby Show. But I hated that argument because it's black people who do have doctors as parents. And if you don't, step outside of your little small ass viewpoint, expand your mind, and if you don't personally know someone like that, open your mind and understand that those people do exist, whether you met them or not. Black people cover the gamut. And every message for black people ain't gonna speak to every other black person. We don't have one monolithic way of thinking. The only thing we gotta do as black people is we need to know how to respect other black people's differences who are different from us in certain ways, and also know how to call out these black people that have no benefit to us. Like, say, a John Lewis, an Elijah Cummings, and a Sheila Jackson Lee. Now, why are they the enemy of black people? They're not the enemy of black people because they think different than we do, because they see different than we do. No. That's not what makes an enemy. An enemy isn't somebody who just sees things different than you. Oftentimes, we can get into these big old knockdown, drag out fights as a people because someone else sees things slightly different. No. That's not an enemy. An enemy isn't somebody with a different point of view. No. That's just someone with a different point of view. An enemy to black society are people who use their blackness. They say the things that black people want to hear to get into whatever position they want, whether that be Byron Allen and his whole ass lawsuit, whether that be Elijah Cummings, John Lewis, whether that be any of those things. That's what they are. They could be any of those things. But do they use their platform to harm black people? That's the dividing line. The enemy is someone who uses their platform to harm us. People can think however the fuck they want to think. But when you get the power, what do you do with it? See, John Lewis got the power, and he didn't bring any resources to his district, any federal funds to his district, to boost his district, to bring jobs to his district, to revamp his district. He ran black, but when it came time to bring it and allocating the money to his black citizens, he wasn't there. Remember, Martin Luther King said it himself. What good is a black face in a high place if they can't get money redirected from the federal government to their local municipality? That's all a politician's job is to get money that you pay for in your taxes back to the area you live in. That's why you elect Congress people and senators. And that's the only reason why you elect Congress people and senators. These people, they use their blackness. Sheila Jackson Lee runs on being black, but she's fighting for immigrants. John Lewis, before he croaked, fought for immigrants. He had more heat. Remember that congressional hearing when they were mad at Trump for having those kids in cages? It was John Lewis like, I got beat on Selma. And now our babies are locked in cages. John Lewis didn't call them people that Obama called thugs in Baltimore. He didn't call them our babies. What about that black man that got lynched in Atlanta in 2017, on the campus of Emory University? They lynched him with a chain on the campus of Emory University in Atlanta. John Lewis didn't say shit. But he can use his blackness to fight for other people. Kamala Harris, she's black when she want to be. But look what's been happening. Ever since she's been in office, it's been legislation for Indians and for Asians left and right. Not a motherfucking thing for black people. That's how you define an enemy. Do you use your platform to hurt us? And a lot of quote unquote prominent black people, they've used their positions in life, their appointed positions, their jobs to hurt us. That's why I don't fuck with Sheila Jackson Lee. That's why I don't fuck with Larry Elder. That's why I don't fuck with John Lewis. These are people who've used Kamala Harris. These are people who've used blackness to get the positions that they've gotten, only to once they get there, use their platform to spread negative propaganda about us and laws that affect groups that don't like us. Always know that difference. You're right, Bug. Maxine Waters should be up here too. I didn't vote. Maxine Waters is in my district. I didn't vote for her. I voted for that Joe Collins Republican dude. I don't even like him. I just want that bitch to get out of the office. Because she's caping hard for immigrants. But when them white conservatives said they're going to go to Maxine Waters' office, who was out in front protecting her office? Black people. How do I know? I was there. I know some of y'all done heard people talk about it. Y'all saw the videos. Y'all may have seen Brother Jason Black or Tariq Nasheed talk about the black people at Maxine Waters' office. I'm talking about it now because I was actually there. And I wasn't there to protect Maxine Waters. Fuck Maxine Waters. And we were saying that. But we were over on Broadway and 108th. We were over there because it was like, you know what? Even though we don't fuck with Maxine Waters, we want to send a message to these white supremacist conservatives that you can't just come down to where we live and think you're going to boss anything up. This ain't about Maxine Waters. This is about, as a black man, defending the territory of the neighborhood I grew up in. Still working. Live down the street from. You're not going to be free to come up over here, homie. I don't give a fuck who up in that office. And that's what happened. Them white folks came down there. It was the one white dude in the F-150. He had a great F-150 and a big old American flag in the back of the F-150. Man, these brothers hopped in the back of the F-150, took that flag down, and got a few licks in, punched that motherfucker while he was driving. Took the flag, and homie that took the flag was like, man, this ain't about Maxine Waters. This is about motherfuckers like that not coming down to my neighborhood. That's all this is about. Fuck, man. That's what we were saying right there. We were like, you have like some of the older women, some of the people, you know, talking about, you know, Maxine Waters, you know, they liked her. We didn't. We were just being men defending our community from white supremacist terrorism. And then there was this other liberal white dude that kept running his mouth asking these stupid questions. And every time a goofy looking white boy would come up asking stupid ass questions, niggas would chase them away. It was the one white dude in the center media and asking dumb ass questions. And then black folks walked up like, oh, hold on, who are you? We don't recognize you from around here. He got in his liberal car and left. You heard I say, this is another thing I want to say. This is where talking right here can be frustrating, because you'll be very clear in what you said, and then people will hear what you said and then twist it and ask a stupid ass question or say, make a dumb comment. Dude said, well, this isn't a stupid comment right here. This isn't, I clicked the wrong one. What I saw must have got retracted. Now, Buckshot, that's not a dumb comment. But yeah, you're right. Buckshot, you're right. We stood up for her, and she still won't do nothing. Here, the thing about it was, we weren't even expecting her to do anything, because we know Maxine Waters ain't shit. But I'll tell you this, though. Not one white supremacist group has tried to come back down to South Central LA since. We saw a few of them trucks come through and keep pushing. But they ain't tried to come down to South Central LA since. See, people in other parts of the country, they be coming all through y'all neighborhoods and y'all don't do shit. They know not to come to South Central LA. So the reason why our brothers like me were out there was to keep it that way. And for people listening that may get this fucked up and get it twisted, y'all may be, well, why would you go out there and for Maxine Waters? She don't care about y'all. Again, like I said, it's not about Maxine Waters. It was about showing up and letting these conservative motherfuckers know you can't come down here. And even though we don't fuck with her, just because we don't fuck with Maxine Waters, that don't mean we fuck with you. So we had to send a clear message, and I was right there. And I'm not one of those people. I don't attend rallies. You're never going to see me. You're never going to see me at a rally. You're never going to see me at a protest holding up no signs. I don't fuck with none of these organizations or groups. Like my company, Breakthrough Advocacy Services. It's funny, I'll be out there and I'll be talking, sometimes doing speeches around town. And the first thing that'll happen is I'll get some Negroes. So do you know, what about this organization? Well, do you work with that organization? I'd be like, no. And then they'd be looking at me funny. I'd be like, look, I don't work with none of these organizations, and I don't trust none of these niggas. Because most niggas in organizations is up to some liberal shit. Most of these organizations want liberal money, so they're only going to go so far when it comes to speaking up for black people. I read history to learn from history, and what I know from history is all these funky ass organizations get infiltrated, compromised, and fucked up. So no, I don't join those organizations. I'm solo bolo with mine. I do mine. I get directly to the people. But I will show up if somebody's talking about harming my community. I'll show up to that. You ain't about to harm my people. But you ain't gonna see me going to no fucking protest begging and please don't, Black Lives Matter. I don't need to convince you Black Lives Matter. I know my life matters. What the fuck am I gonna convince some racist degenerate who don't like black people anyway? What am I gonna convince them of? Nothing. They gonna think what the fuck they want to think. So yeah, you can get people out there. Like, I be listening to people talk. Like, that's the thing about LA. People like, oh, LA ain't this, LA ain't that. No. LA and Hollywood are two different things. I'll listen to TBA talk about, man, that cesspool in LA. Those people in LA. Fuck with LA and see what happened. It was a police chase last week. Because y'all know me. Anybody who know me, if you with me on Facebook, y'all know I love them police chases. That's something about growing up in LA. It's something about growing up in LA. You got to watch them police chases. Shit, going back to the 80s and the 90s, man. The Laker game would go off on Channel 9, like road Laker games. When the Lakers played on the East Coast, they played on regular TV, Channel 9. And home games would be on Prime Ticket, the cable channel, later on Fox Sports West. Well, Channel 9, the East Coast road games would come on at about 6 o'clock. They'd be done at about 8:39. And Channel 9 News had an 8 o'clock news, 9 o'clock news, and 10 o'clock news. And so many times growing up in LA, the Laker game will be over with. And as soon as it's over with, they'll cut to a police chase. And you got another hour of entertainment for this motherfucker hitting corners running from the police. And you know, being a nigga, you rooting for the person running from the police. LA full of police chases. I love my city. I love my city. But I would watch them police chases after Laker games, and we'd have a good time. But there was a police chase last week where his brother was running from the police. So what he did was he went back to his hood. I guess he called the people on the cell phone that, you know, he was coming back that way. So when he came back to his hood, it was like 40 or 50 black people standing out. It was 40 or 50 people standing out in the streets when the police were behind him. So the police couldn't do anything to him. The neighborhood came out, and the neighborhood allowed the police to arrest him. They didn't obstruct. They did not obstruct the police from arresting him, and they did stand out there on the streets and made sure that he was taken in humanely. And you saw the police. They handcuffed him with respect, and they put him in that car with respect. They knew better. And I guarantee you, when he got to that jail, he was treated with respect. Because if he comes back and they say he wasn't treated with respect and honor in that jail cell, those police that work that neighborhood are going to have a problem. So you can say the fuck you want about LA, but we don't let these white supremacists just have carte blanche on our asses. We stand up for ourselves here in this town. Not the Hollywood niggas. All the Hollywood niggas is fake, like the rest of these motherfuckers who ain't from here. They come to LA and give LA a bad name because they weirdos looking for an opportunity, leaving their town, coming over here, and they have a different mindset. I ain't talking about them niggas. I'm talking about LA niggas. We don't fuck around. You saw that Black Foundation, the whole hood came out. No. You're not about to fuck over us or one of ours. We get on code here in LA fast. We get on code. And I ain't gonna let no motherfucker from a little small one-horse town talk shit about my city because you can't keep up here. That's basically all I wanted to say about that subject. Remember, let's tie it all in. What's the lesson? What are the lessons? And I'm gonna get to some of y'all comments after this. So what are the lessons from today's broadcast? Lessons learned. How do we move forward? Well, glad you asked. The lessons are, and the people that are in the chat room, y'all pretty much, for the most part, on point. Share this broadcast to the people who ain't on point. Your liberal friends ain't your friends. They only using you for their greater means and their greater ends. Conservatives that try to befriend you because they see you're disgruntled with liberals are not your friends. They're just befriending you to push their cause, their form of white supremacy further. And they need you to do it. Because white people ain't strong enough, they ain't good enough to do it by themselves. They have to recruit black people to play along with their bullshit games. The games stop when we say they stop. Liberals, conservatives, they're never going to stop playing this game of toss. They're never going to stop playing this game of volleyball. They're going to keep you as the ball in the net as long as you volunteer and make yourself available to be the ball in the net. It's on you to stand up. It's on us to stand up. It's on us to be okay with disagreeing with another black person that doesn't see it our way, as long as that black person isn't doing anything to overtly harm us as a group. It's on us to check the black people that are harming us as a group. Just because the news put them on camera don't mean they're our hero. Sheila Jackson Lee is not a hero. Larry Elder is not a hero. John Lewis is not a hero. These are people that speak for the white people that put them where they are. And don't feel ashamed about it. I see black people I hear black people all the time maybe telling me on Facebook, man, you don't like none of our heroes. No, I love our heroes. I just know the difference between a hero and a front man. Ida B. Wells is a hero. Shahrazad Ali is a hero. Farrakhan is a hero. And I ain't even a Muslim. People be having issues with Farrakhan. And I see that. Does he do everything that he can do? No. But he's never gone out of his way to harm the greater black society. And he's done a lot of good things to contribute and push forward for a greater black society. I don't agree with all his means. I don't agree with all of his methods. But that's not for me to agree or disagree with. Anything that I disagree with, I create myself and do. I don't sit around saying, man, why is he over there talking to the Scientologists? And what was his beef with this person or that person? Look, I don't know. Look, I think it was sad what happened between Khalid Muhammad and Farrakhan. I love Khalid Muhammad. But I'm not going to sit around and sparse those two men's disagreements and issues. They both fought for the greater good of black society and did it their own way. And whatever personal issues they had is what they had. But whatever personal issues these people had, whether it be Nation of Islam, they didn't go out the way and overtly do things to undermine black society. You're right, Bug Sheldon. Stacey Abrams. That's another agent. She ain't shit. Stacey Abrams got all them black people to go ahead and vote for people who ain't even fucking with black people in the same goddamn city, Georgia, that had Paul Howard, who put charges on those cops that killed that brother in that Wendy's parking lot. Then people of Atlanta, where would the fuck was Stacey Abrams to get the vote out to re-elect the man that prosecuted white officers for killing black people? Where the fuck were they? But she can get out black people to vote for a damn senator and a damn president who don't fuck with us. They ain't no hero. She's mobilizing black people to vote against our self-interest as a group, while telling us that immigration is a good reason for us to get out and vote for these people. Cardi B's not a hero. Cardi B ain't shit. You're right, African Roots. Dr. Wade Nobles. I love Dr. Wade Nobles has his own black psychology department that churns out black psychologists and psychiatrists that help heal the black mind. Wade Nobles is a hero. Dr. Joy DeGruy, Steve Coakley. Man, we got so many heroes as a people. Fred Hampton was a hero. George said KRS-Two is not a hero. Goddamn right. She ain't shit. KRS-One is a hero. He's one of the few rappers I put up there in the hero status. I love KRS-One. But KRS-Two, the Me Too chick, the chick who could sniff an iPad whole, she ain't shit. But they parade that Dennis Rodman looking niggeress around here like she's a hero. She ain't shit. Neely Fuller's a hero. Yep, Nipsey's a hero. Yeah, y'all know who the heroes are. Y'all know who the heroes are in the chat room. Thank y'all for liking and sharing this video. I'm about to get out of here in a little bit. Have some things to do around here. Got to get my mind right. Because I will be going on another mushroom trip tonight. Hell yeah. I will be on the magic mushrooms and reefer tonight. People be like, I heard somebody tell me, Dwan, you shouldn't advocate for drugs. Let me make it clear. I do not advocate for drugs. First of all, mushrooms and weed aren't drugs. They're from the planet. But let's play devil's advocate and say they were drugs. I still don't advocate for them. I don't tell you what you should do. I talk about what the fuck I do. Only thing DwannBrown advocates for is people using their own mind. And you doing what is right for your consciousness. If your consciousness say this or something isn't for you, then don't do it. Don't allow someone else, because it's what they do, don't allow that to influence what you do. If something's for you, you'll get annoying inside of that. And if it is for you, you know the difference between when you're listening to yourself and when you're listening to some ego bullshit. If it is for you, don't allow what society says to be true and not true to stop you. Do you. And if you don't know your inner voice, take some fucking quiet time and learn it. Learn the difference between when your inner voice is speaking and when it's some bullshit. Do you. Do what's right for you. Be true to you. Because as black people, we need we need to be strong individuals. The group can't do nothing with a weak-minded person that's easily swayed, that goes around and doesn't live your own self-interest because of what somebody else thinks or what they may say or what they may do. We don't need those kind of people. We need people that stand on their own shit. Nah, Big Lou, no, you do not crash on shrooms. You eat them shrooms, you have a great fucking time, and whatever you went into that shroom trip wanting to get out of it, you will get. When I take shrooms, it's because I got questions on how to solve certain issues that I've been going through, get through certain hangups that I've had. And I go into my shroom trip with a question on solving those problems. And god damn it, every time I've gone on a shroom trip, those fucking questions got answered. And I came out of that shroom trip applying what I learned in the shroom trip. No, you don't crash. You get real high, you get elevated, and then you kind of come down, then you go to sleep and you wake up and you're fine. You don't get sick, you don't vomit, you don't throw up, you don't hallucinate and go crazy. No. It's just like a very high, intense weed high. Nothing really happens. Yes, cocaine came from the leaves of the plant. And people down in Colombia, they eat them plants directly. And they just stay up 24 hours a day. They don't eat the refined shit. You cannot compare some shit that's taken from a plant, put in some kind of sent through processing, and then comes out in a different form than what it was originally when it went through there. Don't conflate the two. Whatever you do, the Bible, when I used to be in church all the time, said one thing very clear. And all you're getting, get an understanding. Whatever you do, get an understanding of what that is that you're doing. And don't make these blanket assessments off something that you heard. Whatever it is you do, you learn it. And you do right by yourself with what you learned. Don't compare some shit that was sent through a factory, processed, extracted, chemicalized, and then resold. Don't compare that with some shit a motherfucker just picked up straight out the ground. Way different. Way different. Way different. Way different. All these things have been around forever. And these are all things that come around and you can use them to your benefit. Like for me, I wasn't a big weed smoker this time 10 years ago. But I was an anxious, anxiety-laden motherfucker that had hella anxiety and a lot of fear that the weed helped me break down and break through. That's why I named my company Breakthrough Advocacy Services. It's a reflection of my breakthrough as a person. And I do have my book coming for you pretty soon. No Time to Waste, a self-motivation guidebook. That's coming, y'all. That's coming. Hopefully in the next 2 weeks. It'll definitely be out in March. I don't know when in March, but it'll be out in March. We're gonna do a lesson on this book here for free on YouTube, and I will also have a workshop on this book for those who buy the book. If you sign up for the workshop, you'll get the book for free. If you just want the book, no workshop, I'll have that up for you too on my new website as it's being built, Breakthrough Advocacy Services. Also, get your Hotepish t-shirts, hoodies, and coffee mugs. Please, please, please. And make sure if you get something, make sure your size and all that stuff is accurate before you hit submit. Because if it's not, once it goes to print, I can't do anything anymore. I work with a print service that once they send the print, yes, it's on my website, but once they send it to print, there's literally nothing I can do about it. Like, unless you hit me up like right away. And if I happen to be at my computer at the time you hit me, 2 minutes after you submitted your order wrong, I may be able to do something in the first few minutes. And that's only if I'm at my computer. But outside of that, I can't change anything. So if you buy a t-shirt or a hoodie, whatever size you select is the size you get. All right? I'm making it very clear because I don't do bad customer service. I don't do bad customer service. But I also don't pay for mistakes I didn't make. I work through a third-party printing service. I don't print these myself. So if they go to print it, they don't allow me to switch it. You just got yourself an extra medium t-shirt. Even though you wear a 4X, yo bad. All right. So yeah. See, Rashawn said, "I'm take 3." No, I'm taking the whole eighth of shrooms tonight. All 3.5. Bug shelter. Now that's something I'm afraid to do. Acid. I was born in '81, but no. Now I know people who have done acid. That's past my consciousness. Although acid helped produce some of the greatest hits in the funk era, not just Needy, Atomic Dog, all that stuff was done on acid. I'm good. Acid was some shit done in the lab. I am good on acid. I'm cool on LSD. I don't want no LSD. I'm cool. If you want to do that shit, that's on you. That's not for me. I'm not gonna shit on those who do it though. If you want to do crack, I'ma laugh at your motherfucking ass. You done seen what crack did to all these people and you still want to do it? Crack's something different now. Again, I ain't gonna judge. It's not for me to judge. But I'ma laugh at your monkey ass if you do crack. You do opium? I'ma laugh at your ass. I be seeing these opiates, man. I see what these opiates do to kids, man. Work all my years working with children. You don't know how hurtful it is, because all they do is put these kids on opium nowadays. And if a child has behavioral issues and you go to a mental health professional thinking you're about to get some help over some behaviors and you think you're about to get some counseling, good luck. These motherfuckers like putting these kids on opium and bouncing. They love putting these kids. Man, that hurt my heart too. Because when I was working in mental health before the Obamacare money came in, and we used to actually counsel children, and we may put them on a drug for a limited time that'll help them. So our counseling, like if we had a kid with severe impulse issues, the doctors may have put them on an opiate for about 3 to 4 months. So our counseling to then give them, that drug will give them just a little bit of a delay to where then our counseling, what we were teaching them, they can then use and apply to de-escalate themselves, and then we take them off the drugs. But when that Affordable Health Care Act money came in, we had a doctor at my company. The doctor that didn't like giving drugs, they basically told him, look, nigga, you better start giving all these kids drugs or we gonna fire you. He wouldn't do it, so they fired him, and they replaced the doctor with somebody who gave out drugs. Because once that Affordable Health Care money came through, it became too expensive for us to be sitting and counseling a kid for 2 years, waiting on them to get it right. They said, no. You're going to have these kids, and we want you graduating these kids in 9 months to a year, in 6 months to a year, and put them on some drugs and get the fuck on out of here. So be careful if you have a child and you're putting them through one of these Department of Mental Health, mental institution agencies. All they do is push drugs down. I'd have a 5 or a 7-year-old. I'd have these 7-year-olds who, when they were around me, they didn't have no behavior issues. But, the teachers suck. So these little 7-year-olds be bouncing off the walls. You don't know how hurtful it is to see a 7-year-old. You know that little motherfucker's cool. You know he's straight. He just need a little bit of all little nigga needed some love and attention. But instead of getting love and attention, they give him opium. Now you got a little homie coming in looking like he just smoked a 12-pack of joints. High. Aloof. The school is happy because at least he's quiet. But he's on drugs. And while he's on drugs, he's not being taught how to settle disputes. And he's not being taught conflict resolution. He's being taught, take a drug and get the fuck out of my face. So how do you think that person's going to be when they become an adult? And now they can't afford health care and they can't afford that medicine. And they got rejected by a chick that they wanted to date, and they're 30 and they've never had any conflict resolution skills. And then you turn on the news, we need to do better. Why did he do that? He need this. You don't know what mental health issues these people are going through. And how this society is setting these kids up to become dangerous adults that can't solve problems. I'm going to do a whole show on that. I don't want to get too much into that now because I've been talking to y'all for 2 hours and 24 minutes. So I don't want to get too much into that. Remind me, I'm gonna do a whole show dedicated to that. Putting these babies on opium. And then they want to turn around and tell you that magic mushrooms are dangerous. Get the fuck out of my face. When y'all got these babies on opium. So yeah, that's what we're talking about. Yeah, Rashawn, try a whole 3.5 and go within. But before you go into your shroom trip, you don't never do shrooms. And I say, I'm not a doctor. I'm not advocating anything for anybody. I am not a doctor. I am not a medical professional. But if you do decide to do shrooms, don't have a bad attitude. Don't be angry. Because if you're angry, that shroom trip is going to be horrible. Go into your shroom trip with love. Go into your shroom trip wanting answers to some of the deepest questions that you've had. Listen to some good music. Relax. Put a smile on your face. Those answers will reveal themselves to you. Yeah, I appreciate that, filmmaker. I try to bring it all together, man. That's what I do. I like to talk, because I'm all about solutions, man. I'm not about judging people. I'm not about complaining about white people all day and then just to be mad. No. I like solutions. I like solving issues. And all these things that we deal with on a daily basis, we deal with a lot of shit. We really do as a people. We really deal with a lot of shit. We solve it. Because all these things tie in together. Anyway, my name is DwannB. Remember this. Hell yeah, Roy. You better play some Roy Ayers when you listen to your shrooms. Shit. When you take your shrooms. Man. Play some Roy Ayers, This Side of Sunshine. I love that album on the Lifeline album. We're singing and laughter and smiles are free. Singing music can get you there. Man, I can't sing, but I love me some Roy Ayers. This side of sunshine, there's music for all young at heart. Nigga, we live in Brooklyn, baby. I love me some Roy Ayers. God damn it. You Send Me by Roy Ayers? That's my shit. You send me, you send me. Oh, and Roy Ayers has a new album that he dropped just last year with Adrian Young. With Adrian Young and Ali Shaheed Muhammad. Adrian Young, Ali Shaheed Muhammad, and Roy Ayers did an album together last year. Go ahead and look that up. It's on the Jazz is Dead series. It's a short album, like 7 songs. It's a dope-ass album. Nigga, take some shrooms and listen to The Third Eye by Roy Ayers. Nigga, that is my shit. Nigga, take some shrooms and listen to Searching or Vibrations from Roy Ayers and see if your day don't become instantly greater. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Gotta sing my song all day long. I'm searching. Yep, Roy Ayers is a real LA legend. Lady Hotel, like I said before, cocaine and heroin do come from nature. But the drug that you take out of cocaine and heroin is processed. Other shit is thrown in it. The coca plant is fine. Like I said, people down in Colombia, go catch a cab in Colombia. I guarantee you, the cab driver is eating on a coca plant for the energy. The coca plant was also used. Before I get out of here, I'm gonna tell you one last thing about the coca plant. Do y'all know that it was used for surgery? They would have someone eat the coca plant. They would open up that coca plant and use it to numb the area they were going to have surgery on. The coca plant used back then and used still in indigenous areas isn't the shit that people are sniffing for a good time. That's something else. Magic mushrooms aren't processed by anyone. You pick them hoes up out the ground and you eat them. and you go on a good trip. And make sure you drink some orange juice while you're doing it. Again, I don't advocate for any drugs or anything. Do what the fuck you want to do. But if you're going to do it responsibly. And get out of it all that you can get out of it. Yeah. Yeah. Don't let these white folks bastardization of things God gave us fuck your head up. Do what you do. Do what you do. Yes, heroin was in medicine, Bug Shelton. Yes. And magic mushrooms were used to solve mental health problems back in the 1950s. There's whole programs proving how well magic mushrooms work in conjunction with therapy. But the medical industry fucking said no. Hell no. We ain't about to put you motherfuckers on magic mushrooms or weed, because that shit works. We're going to sell you our synthetic versions of all this shit, so you got to come to us. That's what ended magic mushrooms and psychotherapy being combined. It was the pharmaceutical industry. Did nobody die? Did nobody get fucked up? But you had great results. Go ahead and look that shit up if you think I'm bullshitting. No, I'm not going to tell you where I get the shrooms. No, I'm not. Nope. If you want to know where to get shrooms, ask someone in your local city. I'm not about to be accused of no distributing. Hell no, I'm not telling you. And that's another thing. People don't inbox me about where I get my shit. No. I get them. My shrooms descend from heaven. That's where I get them from. Like I walk outside one day, and there's like a little baggie parachuting down from the heavens above. The Lord Jesus sends them to me. I get my shrooms from Jesus. The Lord Jesus Christ. The Lord Jesus Christ sends me my shrooms. Don't ever goddamn ask me where I get them from. Y'all know better. Y'all know the deal. Trying to entrap a nigga. I get my shrooms. There's this unicorn that flies in and every time I look up at the North Pole, Polaris, a magic unicorn flies in, and he has some shrooms on his horn, tied to his horn, and I just take them and I eat them. And yeah, that's where I get my shrooms from. If you want to know where to get shrooms from, that's on you to find out, not me. I'm not about to get entrapped. Nope. Don't ask me where I get my shrooms from. I get my shrooms, like I said, I get my shrooms. Yeah. There's a mermaid. I go down to the beach, and every time I go to the beach, or when I want to, I go to the beach at night. I flash my flashlight 6 times, and a mermaid appears, and the mermaid, she ties my shrooms around her nipples, and she ties them to her nipples, and I go to my mermaid's nipples, and I untie them from her nipples, and then she goes back into the water, and she gives a dolphin some fish pussy my mermaid gives me some shrooms, and she goes back into the water and she fucks a dolphin. That's how I get my shrooms. So yeah. You're right. That commercial, you got to get your own, my brother. What was that commercial from back in BET back in the day? No, my brother, you got to get your own. Please, someone in here, I would like, I'm not asking, you don't have to do this, but I would like someone to volunteer, if you have the time, to timestamp this video. If anyone timestamps this video, and I would like to have people, because I be busy as shit. And sometimes I can timestamp, sometimes I can edit, sometimes I can't. Most of the time I can't. So the people listening, if you go back and listen to the shit on the replay, If you feel free to timestamp where I talk about my different subjects, I'd appreciate that. I'll pin whoever timestamps this video, I'll pin your comment at the top of the page so people can read the timestamps on the different subjects. Because sometimes people don't want to hear everything I got to say. They just want to get to certain parts. I appreciate, and I get that too. Much love and respect for those who don't got 2.5 hours listening to me, and I really appreciate y'all who do. So if anyone in the chat room can timestamp this video for my different subjects, that would be greatly appreciated. And if I can get someone to volunteer to do that consistently, I will send you some free shit from my website. I don't know what free shit I'm gonna send you, but I'm not gonna have you do this shit for free. I will send you some gifts from the website if you do that. But if you want the gift, show me where you timestamped it. And I ain't saying this one time. If you want to do this consistently, email me hotepish@gmail.com if you want to be the consistent timestamper. I will send you something dope on me. I only need one, maybe two. And I ain't about to send all you motherfuckers something, but I will send it to somebody. So timestamp this hoe if you feel that you got the time to do so. And remember this. Nigga said, why I snitch on the mermaid? He said, yeah. So, what else y'all talking about? Somebody said, why I snitch on the mermaid? What record, Zen Master? You want to borrow what record? Yeah, Hostile Takeover. Yeah, Takashi the Mermaid. Yes, my bad. But yeah, my name is Dwan B. Trying to see what some of y'all said in this chat room before I get up out of here. Somebody said y'all started getting shrooms in DC. Lovelace, I need timestamps. I want somebody to come on in there in the chat room as I switch subjects to go back and just put in a comment after the show is over with the different timestamps that I talked about different things. I'd appreciate if somebody did that. Let's see here. Now, I'm not switching on a mermaid. I think her name was Sylvia, too. Sylvia back somewhere swimming in the Pacific. But yeah, my name is Dwan B. Remember this. There are no perfect messengers. Only perfect messages. For those who are willing to pick up game. I am not a perfect messenger. There are a lot of people who are just staunchly against weed and shrooms and shit like that. So, if you are that person that's against that, I am not the perfect messenger. But I will drop some of the perfect messages for you if you are mature enough and open enough to pick up the game and throw the bullshit out. Just throw it, if what I said sounds like bullshit to you, throw it out. That's fine. People I listen to say bullshit all the time that I don't agree with. But I take the game that they gave me. So remember that. There are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those who are willing to pick up game. My name is Dwan B. We out.